jacking it. Choking the chicken, flicking the bean, yanking your chain, having a wank. Choking the chicken, flicking the bean, yanking your chain, having a wank. Ringing the devil's doorbell, shucking corn, singing soprano, polishing the yogurt rifle, and as it's become known in recent years, gooning. Why am I talking about this? Is it for the ad revenue? Because as we all know, sex sells. Is it because I had fun coming up with a bunch of ways to say that you're doing the vertical tango with Pamela Anderson and her 5 sisters? Well, yes, I did, but that's not the point. The idea for this video came from a recent post I saw on Twitter. I'm not calling it X. If Elon wants me to call it X, he can pay me. Like that one girl he allegedly...
What am I even watching?
Ethical gooning habits. No AI. Support small creators. No gatekeeping. Be open-minded. Lube up.
All right, I'm gonna give my genuine thoughts on the AI part of gooning. Those AI art on like Rule 34 actually suck. Like, I genuinely hate the fact that there is like no filter that just allows me to like take away all AI photos, like all AI generated content, because there's just so many AI gooning material that it just kind of overrides the, you know, more modern, more natural gooning material, man. It's so annoying. Like, I have to scroll like 4 more slides in order to get my actual natural gooning material, man. It's so annoying as hell.
Be aware of the current political and economic climate.
Why?
Well, that last one's just good advice in general, but anyways. And this wasn't the only one that I saw like it. Trying to goon on R34, but 95% of the results are AI.
Yeah, that is a genuine problem I'm having. Like, bro, stop with the AI, man. I wish they had a filter for that thing.
Art. And it got me thinking about AI in general. AI has become so integrated into our lives.
Wait, no, we're not talking about gooning? I'm disappointed.
In what feels like the blink of an eye. It was around before, but things have definitely accelerated in recent years. Everyone was familiar with AIs that controlled NPCs in video games or that ran calculations, but things are much different now. Now it seems like every website you go to has some built-in AI assistant, or they're boasting about their new AI-powered features. And the most damning indictment of this new generative AI has been its effects on video, audio, and art as a whole. Generative AI is notorious for being trained off of artists' work in order to imitate their styles. The end goal here, of course, being to get the artist's work without actually paying the artist. Because God knows those billionaires have to save every penny they can, right? Look, everyone's entitled to their own opinion on AI. But some of us still choose to opt out of it whenever we get the chance. And this video was inspired by some of those conscientious objectors. Because following the original tweets, I saw tweets like these. I'm an ethical gooner. Of course I type -AI_generated before beating my meat. When I'm at the ethical goon session.
Whoa, hold on. That's actually a prompt in Rule 30. I'm gonna try it out later. Later.
-AI_generated before beating my meat. When I'm at the ethical goon session, someone links the artwork that we're gooning to.
Hell
the
yeah.
ethical gooner rides into town at sunset. Tomorrow they'll be hanging innocents, and he's here to shoot ropes. Okay, that last one was just because I thought it was funny, but you get the picture, right? This is a real movement, and I took note of it. This video was inspired by this curious collection of coitus connoisseurs, ethical gooners. So to understand this, let's break the term down. The ethical part comes from their conscious decision to not participate in any pornography created by AI. Lots of people post their tips and strategies on how to procure content that isn't AI generated. The gooner part is a slang term that's seen a surge in use in recent years. Its use is often derogatory, which is arguably bad, and people have talked about that, and I'll get into that in a second, but just hold on. And the term is far from new. Definitions from the website Urban Dictionary that date back as far as 2006 recognize the term as having been around for a while by that point, which would put its origins in the 90s or even earlier. And on that tangent,
Imagine
I've
being
seen
in the
claims
90s
that
and getting called a gooner.
that it originated in queer spaces in the 90s, and I've tried to find evidence to support this, but the most that I've found has been discussion of the fetish on some gay sex websites, but even that was as recent as like the late 2010s, so if anyone has...
Do I have a PhD in Goonology? Man, do you know who you're talking to? Bro, I can't even... I have never once completed No Nut November. Alright? I have never, not once in a day in my life, not beat my meat. In a day. The average time I take to beat my meat is around 3 hours daily. And that's with the fact that I have school. I beat my meat before and after I go to school, all right? I go to school with that post-nut clarity. Oh my god,
anything more on that, I'd be very interested to learn about it. And I understand research on this is hard because a lot of queer history wasn't well preserved. I'm definitely getting old because I remember a time when a goon was just somebody that a bad guy hired to...
I goon to this character a lot.
do his dirty work. I have this shirt from when I used to skate that I can't wear anymore because now it makes me look like I'm part of some premium gooner club, so thanks, evolution of culture. I'm someone who believes in seeing both sides, and I'm not entirely opposed to the idea of AI. AI has always been around us. I mean, without it, I would have a 0% win rate in Counter-Strike.
Without AI, I would not be able to pass my school.
I'm about to hit
I would have a failing grade.
Here. Oh, you what the fuck? What the fuck?
Averaging
Get one
of my
of them doing this.
teammates.
Yes, yes. There we go.
What's that? Not backstab.
I won, yay. I'm a gamer, Mom.
They burn my friend.
There are certain tasks that I think AI is good for. Consider the following. You're a video editor, and you have 2 cuts to make. One cut involves syncing some video to some audio. Pretty tedious work, but simple. The other cut is very intensive, and might involve the use of multiple programs. It will take up a lot of time. Doesn't it sound like a nice idea to let AI handle the syncing of the audio and video so that you can optimize the use of your time on the more intensive cut? I think 9 out of 10 people would say yes, and 10 out of 10 AIs would say yes, but that's because I train them to say yes to anything. Watch. Hey AIs, is Silksong ever gonna come out?
Yes.
See, they don't know what they're talking about. The point is, AI has its place in our workflow. Ideally, I'd like to work without it entirely, but AI has been here and by all indications is here to stay. So
AI has practically integrated into my life like a missing piece of the puzzle. Like, I straight up don't think I could live without it anymore. I have lost all capability of actually studying for my exams. I literally just ask AI. I literally just ask ChatGPT the topics, and I just scroll through it like really fast. On the other hand, I also never do my assignments anymore, which is a lifesaver, man. I have never, ever since the introduction of ChatGPT, I legit have never had to actually touch my assignments. I've never had to actually make my assignments for a solid 2 years now.
So if AI is now permanently affixed in our day-to-day lives, why not use
And in all honesty, assignments should be deleted from existence. Like why? Why do we even have them? So the biggest waste of time ever.
it constructively? Why not use it to reduce the time that humans spend doing menial tasks, thereby optimizing the time we spend being alive, instead of using it to bypass the creative process entirely? If you are using AI to be a creative, you are not a true creative. If you are using AI to optimize the time you spend on things that get in the way of your creative process, you're still a creative. You probably hate that you're using AI at all, but you respect its place and don't try to use it to get around creating entirely. These are broad generalizations, and I could spend hours talking about the nuances of AI and whether or not art created with the assistance of AI is even real art at all, but First of all, my degree is in communications, the most bitch-made degree of all time, and definitely not the credentials that qualify me to talk about this sort of thing. And second of all, I don't want to edit all that. It's gonna be a bitch to even edit this footage, but guess what? I'm still gonna do it because I'm in love with the process of creating. And in spite of all my bitching, that's what I think is at the heart of this issue. People who truly love creating will never skip out on a chance to be part of the creative process. If I wanted to make a painting in a certain style, I would learn from an artist experienced in that style. I would study the techniques of those I want to emulate and practice what I see and learn. I would spend time honing my skills organically. If you want to see something, make it yourself. If you want something to jack off to, grab a chisel and a stone like the old days.
Hell yeah.
Cavemen were the most ethical gooners of all time. No, I haven't forgotten that this video was initially about pornography, but listen, topics evolve. This
Sauce.
is bigger
Sauce.
now.
Someone
That's
comment
what
down
she
in the comment
said.
section, please.
Anyways,
Sauce.
as I was saying, if I
that a
want a
game?
certain piece, what I
gotta
wouldn't
try it
do
out.
is steal another artist's canvas and then call it a creation of my own because I didn't make that. I wouldn't go to a machine, give it a prompt, and then sit back and watch as it flings paint at a canvas.
I forgot her name. I think this is GLaDOS, right? GLaDOS from Portal? GLaDOS. Yeah, GLaDOS. Hear me out. GLaDOS
Give it a
is
prompt.
a baddie. Look at this. If you look at it closely, she just looks like a beautiful lady hung upside down. Alright? Do I need to explain it
Prompt
anymore?
and then sit back and watch as it flings paint at a canvas until it vaguely aligns with the style that I gave it a command for.
I have actively gooned to GLaDOS. Yeah, Bados over here. Damn, bad as hell.
And does it as quickly as it algorithmically deems possible. Because in doing that, you're turning art into a commodity, when art was originally never about how fast or how easy you could make it. Art is what happens when you have something that burns inside you so hard that you can't ignore it. No matter what, it's in every part of your life, and you won't stop until you find a way to share it with the world. You bend metal into shapes, you find notes on a scale. You crush stones and blend paints to make the colors that you see in your head. You line up the perfect shot, you make the perfect cut of fabric, and you take joy in every moment of it because it makes you feel alive. No matter how tedious or painstaking the process, true artists will never give up because nothing will stop what we have in our heads.
All art is made with imagination. In art, if you see an art in a museum, it will most likely be because the artist, the person who created that, imagined the art. They thought about it. They thought about the art. They wanted to show it to the world and gave it physical form. They gave their imagination physical form. That's what art is. Imagination in physical form. And the reason AI cannot be considered an artist, or anything developed or created by AI can be considered art, is although yes, it can still be considered created by AI, it is not art, because art is the representation of a person's imagination. At least that's what I think. And because art is a representation of a person's imagination, AI creations, like AI generated images, will never be art because there was no imagination to put into the essence of that generated image. There's no thought behind it. There's no people keep saying soul, but I believe it's actually their imagination. There's no imagination in the creation of AI generated images. That's the reason I will never consider AI generated images as art, unless AI were to advance to a stage where they are truly and well and truly capable of self-thought, consciousness. I will never consider AI as art. AI generated images as art. There needs to be imagination into it. Thought.
That originality and soulfulness will shine through no matter the production quality, and that's what I appreciate seeing in art. And I'm not the only one who thinks this way. I'm not the only one who wants to see originality in all facets of art, including porn. I found all sorts of tweets from both sides of the argument, and listen, I'm not the arbiter of good and evil. I'm not here to declare whether gooning is morally correct. What I'm here to talk about is the general consensus that people recognize soulless AI art. And there's a non-0% of people that are standing up about it. They're demanding more, not just for their goons, but for your goons. And for my goons too.
Ever since the creation of AI or AI generated images, I've seen quite literally the most trash ass goon material in my life. Like seriously, ever since the beginning of AI art, AI generated images, I have been seeing the most trash ass gooning material in Rule 34. It is so sad, man. Like, there was genuine quality before. What happened? What happened? Disappointing.
They're fighting for the world's goons. And I, for one, stand with them.
Yes, I stand with you too.
If you don't stand for something,
Whoa, 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 hold on.
Stand with them.
remember,
I stand with you too, but like what
Ladies.
movie is this?
if you don't stand for something, you'll fall
What
for
movie is
anything.
this?
AI-generated
what-
content will never go away
Comment that in
because of the
comment section,
permanent
please.
nature of the internet. But the same can be said of true creativity. And as sure as that spark burns within artists, and as sure as my outfit has gotten more slutty as the video has gone on, the world will always have original
Has?
content.
You know what? I'm gonna
But
check.
we have to help keep it alive.
We can leave behind much more than just DNA. Through speech, music, literature, and movies, what we've seen, heard, felt, anger, joy, and sorrow. These are the things I will pass on. That's what I live for.
I'm dying alone.
We need to pass the torch.
I
And
will
let
never
our
find a
children
woman.
read our messy and sad history by its light. We have all the magic of the digital age to do that with. The human race will probably come to an end sometime,
My
and new
genes will never be
species
passed
may
down.
rule over this planet. Earth may not be forever, but we still have the responsibility to leave what traces of life we can. Building the future and keeping the past alive are one and the same thing.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. It's a little bit outside of the realm of normal stuff that I do on this channel, but I like these little off-topic videos and things that give me a chance to talk about.
No, ma'am. No, man. What you're talking about is important. It is the essence of humanity, the essence of human creativity, and the very spurts of human life in literal ropes. What is this? This is merch. You know what? We gotta support these creators, man.
One. Oh, it's a big knife. Look at that. It's a big knife. See, it looks like this.
Hotbox creator, spring.com.